Welcome to the Daughter Arise channel. My name is Yvonne and this channel is all about bringing you content about childhood sexual abuse. On this channel I share things to do with child sexual abuse from my experiences of going through it. I also share news stories and add my thoughts and commentary to them. Also from time to time I interview other survivors and their supporters in hopes of raising awareness about childhood sexual abuse. So if this is the type of content you're looking for, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of any new uploads. And if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up. So in today's video, I'm bringing you a story that happened in August last year. It is about a woman that found out after she was adopted that her birth mother was raped. So I'm going to share this story with you. I will leave a link to it in the description box below. A pensioner has been jailed for 11 years for the historical rape of a 13-year-old babysitter, who then became pregnant after the daughter conceived in the attack, doggedly pursued the case against him for more than a decade. Carvel Bennett, 74, faces the rest of his life behind bars after being convicted by a jury in 90 minutes in what is believed to be the first case of its kind in UK legal history. His daughter Daisy, who was given up for adoption after Bennett's victim gave birth, took DNA tests in her 40s that proved that he was her father, with the evidence used to put him in the dock. But she also revealed today that her fight for justice has caused a deeper split between her and her birth mother, which she has described as utterly tragic. She said in a statement that was read in court, "Carvel Bennett, you have caused total carnage. Your act of violence decimated any potential relationship between my birth mother and me because you chose to rape a child. You have avoided justice for 45 years. You got to have a family life, had the opportunity to get married, live with children and see them grow up. Because you raped a child, I only had 7 days at the hospital with my birth mother. Because you chose to rape a child, we are still paying the price. This crime has robbed me of a family life. I read my grandmother visited and thought I looked like you. Imagine how it felt for my 14-year-old mother to look down to see the features of her perpetrator. I was left in hospital for 3 days before being placed with a foster family. Who cared for me in that time, I will never know. How terrifying, how traumatic. I know I exist because you chose to rape a child. To know I'm, for some, the embodiment of one of the worst things to happen. To be pregnant by your perpetrator. To find out what happened to my mother was horrific. It could have been the reason for her not wanting to meet me. That horrendous thought weighed heavy until we were able to reunite. I am more than evidence, more than a witness, more than a product of rape. I am not your shame." She concluded by telling Bennett, "This sentence is 46 years overdue. The pain you have caused is immeasurable." Daisy had been taken into care after being born in Birmingham and adopted at 7 months old. It was only when she was given access to her social services documents that she discovered that her mother was 13 when she was raped and that her father, Bennett, was 28, with the file stating the matter was investigated by the police but never brought to court. In 2014, the Jimmy Savile scandal broke and he was revealed as a sex abuser. It was then that Daisy decided to trace her birth father with the aim of getting him prosecuted for raping her mother as a child. She took DNA tests to prove the biological connection and also found her birth mother, who cannot be named. After a decade of battling with the police and other agencies who told her she was not the victim, she won the battle that saw her father convicted of rape. The jury heard heartbreaking evidence from his victim, who remembers repeatedly telling her attacker, "I don't want to do this," but he carried on anyway. The pensioner admitted having sex with Daisy's teenage mother in the 1970s and accepted he is the biological father of her daughter. But Bennett denied a charge of rape and claimed the victim told him she was 16 and consented to sex. The jury took only 1 hour and 48 minutes to reject his account and find him guilty. The jury also heard evidence from Daisy's birth mother, who's now 59, that she'd informed her mother that she had to babysit Bennett's children one evening, but she was shocked to find him there before he asked her to come upstairs to the bedroom. The defendant told the girl to take off her clothes when they were alone together. She said, "I recall saying to him, I don't want to do this, and him saying it's going to be alright." She remembers him saying he wasn't going to hurt her and that she should say nothing. But then a few weeks later she found out she was pregnant. The court heard the victim was taken to a mother and baby home to give birth to her daughter, who was put up for adoption. She said when she returned home she was made to sit in a chair and watch a programme about someone giving up a child. I had to sit there and watch to see if I would cry. I thought I won't cry. I was adamant I wasn't going to cry, so I never cried. The victim stated she was shocked at the whole ordeal, but felt it was soon brushed under the carpet by everyone. So as you heard from that story, it's absolutely heartbreaking what the birth mother had to go through. I am just lost for words at the whole kind of devastation that this abuse has caused not only to her but also to her birth daughter, who she has no real relationship with now. First of all, I just want to say that the daughter that she gave up is an amazing, wonderful woman. The fact that she continued to pursue justice on behalf of herself and her birth mother says something about her character. You know, it's a testament to the type of person she is. You know, I just find it absolutely disgraceful that in her social worker records that it clearly stated that the birth mother was 13 and the perpetrator was 28, and the police decided that there was no case to answer for. It's absolutely shocking that this was not taken further, that the police didn't arrest this man or even investigate at the time. It just reminds me of everything I was discussing on the last video about growing up in the 70s and 80s, about how child sexual abuse was just not taken seriously. You know, I can't imagine how the adopted daughter feels. No doubt, besides the feelings that she said she carried for all those years, about feeling that her mother, her birth mother, didn't want her, and all the questions and different thoughts that came up from that. But also finding out that she was a product of rape, that she was conceived by rape, must have been absolutely devastating. Her statement was so powerful and I felt every word of her pain. But there were a couple of things from this story that we still continue to be reminded of. Sexual abuse within the black community is still a huge problem. Sexual abuse is brushed under the rug. This type of perpetrator, you see his age? There are many like him in the black community. My father was in his later years like this man when he chose to rape me. There are many other women out there whose perpetrators were men like this. Again, what allows paedophiles to get away with the things that they do is the silence, is the enabling, is the brushing under the rug, is the turning the blind eye, is keeping silent. All these different things allow them to get away with it. I am glad that this woman has received justice for what has happened to her. 10 years of her life she spent pursuing it. Righteous anger must have been her driving force. I'm glad his offence has been brought to light. And even though he only got 11 years, my guess is at the age of 74, he probably won't come out alive. This is the consequence for him of his actions. And I hope one day when everything has settled down, that this birth mother and her daughter can in some way reconcile. Because they're both victims. They both didn't do anything wrong. I really hope and pray that this can happen for them. And I just pray and hope in the end that things will work out for the both of them. Until the next video, take care.